Now, it's one thing creating a great event where everybody leaves in high spirits, feeling part of a great corporate team. Another thing entirely is what happens when people get back to their busy lives the following Monday. This is where all the new inspiration and all the commitment is really brought to life, or not. The seeds that drive real change must be sown at the conference itself. But there are quite a few things we can do to increase the effect of a great conference. The key tool for this is to make sure that all the data, ideas, and even wisdom that are picked up in WISER during a conference are really put to work. Of all the information that we collect and process, usually only a fraction is fully processed during the meeting. So afterwards, the data has high value, ready to be harvested. How do we put this to use? Well, first of all, we make it very easy to share and to mine your way into the important chunks of wisdom. Our online reporting allows us to publish all data from a conference the minute after the last question session is completed. So even before the participants have left the conference room, the first ones will see the invitation to WISER online reporting appear in their BlackBerry, iPhone, or whatever. The most curious participants can actually start browsing the data right there and then from their mobile browsers. But the PC is better suited to this. So let's use this as the example, and let's start at the beginning. Now, before we send out invitations, we have prepared a short email inviting everybody to their personal version of online reporting, maybe with a few words from the CEO. Then, when all the interactive sessions are complete, we simply push the send button and the email invitations pour out to everybody. The invitation email includes a unique token that you can click on or copy into a browser. This brings you to a login page. Here you can choose a personal password for your next login, and then enter the front page of online personal reporting. By this point, we have usually already uploaded a few pictures from the event and written a few words relating directly to the conference, even before it has ended. But more importantly, online reporting automatically generates a menu containing the results from all voting sessions, and you can freely browse into the questions of interest. In this example, we want to follow up on the participants' perceptions of crisis impact. We click on the right question in the menu, and this brings us to a result page for this very question. You can immediately see the overview picture of the voting result. You can also see the table with the result split into percentages, and you can see what you personally voted for on this question. But that's just the basics. The more interesting part is that you can also segment the responses for this question by a parameter of your choice. We normally pre-select a few general parameters to segment the data from and make them available to everybody. This could be business unit, job function, and country, which are often quite interesting to follow up upon. So what the user does is to choose the segmentation criteria, and then instantly a result table is generated. If the user finds interesting results, he or she can export the table to Excel, and from there do whatever he or she wishes with it. If not, he or she can move on to the next segmentation or the next question. A different resource for extra attention is the result of the different brainstorms. This is found, as before, via the menu. But here the results are simply a long list of inputs, normally sorted in chronological order. If users were identified at the conference, you can see who wrote what. If not, the report is anonymous. Either way, the results of brainstorms from many people are only processed at a very high level at a conference. So it's always worthwhile browsing through all the input. Sometimes great ideas or thoughts lie hidden in the long lists. Now, if you've used the Wiser planning tool at the conference, these results can also be found here, in a separate menu. Let's take the example Personal Action Plan. This is where participants have registered personal actions and planned initiatives during breaks at the conference. So naturally, you can find your own personal plan on your personal reporting site. And this is not reported to anybody else. And again, if you want the data in another format, you can always pull them into Excel. But as you have this personal reporting site and people coming by anyway, we might as well use it for a few other things. The most important and most often used feature is to use it to distribute conference material. The simplest way is to build a download page with all the resources you want to share. This can be as simple as the PowerPoint presentations from the conference or supplementary articles and white papers. It can also be films, for example, educational films used at the conference. On the large corporate conferences, we often produce films of the main speeches at the conference while they occur. This also means that we can put an edited version online a few hours after it happened, or even as it happens, if we're streaming. Either way, the download page is a great place to collect all these resources. Sometimes, at big international conferences, we suggest that the participants go home and do their own mini versions of the international conference with their local team. For this, the download page is once again an easy way to share a combination of prepared material, the actual keynote addresses from the conference, and sometimes the translated versions added some days after the conference. This way of sharing input and resources greatly increases the probability that all the resources are actually reused across the organization. A last popular feature that always creates a little extra traffic is the photo gallery. Very few people can resist the urge to at least check if there is a picture of me.